Right.
Is this your new theme song?
Oh no, this is just music.
Okay.
Since we need background
So?
music. Oh god,
Layla.
1 second. I blew my own nose out. Woo! Okay.
Why are we all yawning now? Stop it.
It wasn't a yawn. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
Fuck you, the cactus.
Oh, damn.
Damn right. I just escalated this.
Okay, so we don't have the map.
We don't.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna zoom in on the center here, this center area. Okay?
Where?
Right in the middle.
Okay.
Alright, ready for this? Ready for this amazing art?
Alright.
Okay, 1 second.
Do you have GM powers?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, 1 second. It's getting better. It's getting better. Didn't see that coming, did you?
Oh.
Yeah, wait. Now we're getting intense. Now it's getting good. Who could have expected this shit? I know, right? It's just breathtaking. I'm so talented.
Oh, no.
It just floors me sometimes. Oh, wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
With flex tapes clear,
You ready for this?
I cut a giant hole in this boat. It's a really large therapist couch.
Look, dimensions don't apply when you're making it from scratch. Fuck you.
Oh, look at those cushions.
Damn, high
Oh, no.
definition.
Oh no, my character token doesn't. My character token goes underneath it.
No! No! There's gotta be a way. Get away, stay away. Wait, I'm not done. I'm not done. I'll make it work, don't worry. Don't worry about it. I have a plan, Winks.
Oh no, a wink.
It's supposed to be a desk, but I kind of fucked it up. It'll do.
That was a yawn.
How dare you?
Made by yours truly, me.
So I'm not allowed to yawn, but you can?
No, I never said you're not allowed to yawn. I just said,
I'm
you yawned.
tired of this prejudice. It's kind of shitty.
Well, you know what?
What?
It sounds like a you problem.
It is. Alright, and now ready for the piece de resistance? Ready for this shit? Whoa. Lighting.
Oh.
Crazy shit. Does it make everything look worse? Absolutely. Do I refuse to change it? Absolutely. And now for the tokens. I can do this. Can you bring Layla back? I need to see her for reference.
Say again, I'm confused.
Bring Layla back, I need to see her. Okay.
Now what? Is that supposed to be Castle?
That was supposed to be Layla.
Oh my god.
Oh god, Castle is significantly smaller. Whatever, it's fine. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Beautiful.
There he is. Alright.
Let's move Layla back where she belongs.
What color do you want Layla to be? Blue?
Sure. Let's make her blue.
There you go.
And Castle can remain black.
That's racist.
Isn't he Latino though?
He is.
Yeah, so it's not racist.
There's the setup. I've set the scene.
Once, like a quick screen cap of this, just so that Jordan can see the desperate measures that we had to take, that he forced us to
that
take.
He's forced upon us.
And I'm going to put this in the art section, because that's what this is, art.
Ah, yes. You could tell looking at her that this is art. Alright, so... Layla.
I guess Layla comes in at her assigned time.
Alright, you do so, and Castle is at his desk. You notice that there, more recent addition, there is a calendar on the wall with a bunch of penciled in times. He looks up.
Is the bold letters of Hui like sometimes like faded out because there's like, I'm going to do you today for sure, but I had to push you back a week.
Yeah, it's like you see there's sections in which a name is crossed out, like it's just scribbled over.
And like almost all of those sections are Hui.
All of them are Hui.
He gets away.
He always escapes, just barely. Oh, one sec. Castle would have read her folder. I forgot, because I'm good at my job.
That's alright. What do you need to know?
I just need a basic rundown of history and just general factoids.
She was... she has two her file is kind of odd because there is two identities within the file that both go by the same name.
Mm-hmm.
There's the fake identity, which is, Austrian born, yada yada yada, came from a modest well family, decided to, join the Austrian military after she was drafted. But her actual identity is that she was a German heiress to a larger noble family within Germany, and she eventually was forced to leave. The file isn't too clear on why she was, just that she was.
Okay.
She was stood up at her wedding day by her to-be husband after they had a relationship going on for years, and no traces of him were ever found. From what she understands, the Foundation never looked into it because she's never asked them to.
Mm-hmm.
She then went to Austria under a false identity, lived there for a year, then she was forcibly drafted in the military because they're like, hey, you've never served your time, you need to go to the military. She was like, oh shit. And she stayed in that for about 5 years, earning the rank of second lieutenant and the command over a more special end squad, not special ops, but like a specialized unit, regardless. And after a particular event, I can only assume that you have a clearance, where she lost pretty much half of her team. Foundation were present in the site. She managed to find a loophole in the Foundation stuff so that she could do her mission, and that's where she made first contact with William, which is leader of the Camerata, so that was enjoyable for her.
Mm-hmm.
And after that point, she joined the Foundation and became a containment specialist under Site 113 for 4 years before she was, all that under Gavin, eventually becoming his second in command until after the Jamaica mission, where she was promoted to MTF and went for 4 months of training.
Okay.
So, pretty cut and dry military career.
Okay. Good, good. And once she answers, he will nod. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling today?
Quite well. How are you?
Tired.
Well, that's a shame, but I don't think you should be drinking any coffee to help with that.
He sips from his coffee mug.
She can't really stop him, so she'll sit down. Can't say I didn't warn you.
Miss Roth, then? Is there a more preferred name?
You could call me Layla or Azurus, but I answer to any three of them.
Layla.
However, Miss is kind of implying that I'm married.
Mrs. implies that you're married.
Depends where you are culturally and heritage-wise.
Fair. So, you said today went well. That's why. Good to know. You're the one that advised the MTF team training, aren't you?
Yes, I am. More so team building exercises than actual training, because all of us do that on a regular basis from what I'm aware of.
Any reason you wanted to do that?
Yes. Because I happen to feel that our team is sorely lacking in any sort of actual cooperation skills, besides those that are present upon the battlefield, which, well, isn't too healthy for a work environment.
Alright.
It is good to see your brothers and sisters in arms as more than just, well, co-workers.
Okay.
She, sitting down, she kind of just looks around the room idly. That scared me.
What?
I had a Sabaton song, apparently opened it to YouTube, and I clicked it by accident. And it's just like, in the name of God, it just blasts through my fucking earphones. I'm like, whoa. God, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Good shit. Alright, so you wanted more of a connection aside from just work.
Yes.
Have you been able to achieve that with any of your coworkers?
The only one is perhaps Agent Wolf, but I'm not completely sure a connection has been established. However, the others absolutely not. I am still waiting for a date in which we can all get together to do so. But everyone seems to have excuses all the time. Or one of them is crawling through vents, and the other one is going off to maintain their property overseas.
So you would say it's difficult.
Yes. At least Wolf is easy to find. He's in one of 3 locations.
Alright. And this, not being able to establish that kind of connection that you're aiming for, how's this, making you feel?
Nothing. It doesn't make me feel good, nor does it make me feel bad. It is simply something that I find, well, disheartening at the very most. The fact that our team leader does not believe that it is worth her time to engage in such activities. But, well, she is still quite new to this entire thing, so I'll give her time.
Alright. Jumping topic, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? I have noticed that you've been working with the Foundation for a decent while here.
Well, what is there you want to know?
Just start from where you're comfortable. Move from there.
She seems to huff a bit before she thinks. Well, I am sure that you know I have 2 identities. So I'll just go over the actual identity, not the falsified one. I was... Some of the memories are a bit hazy now after that misery game. I'm uncertain how much of it was removed, but I know that my father was quite caring. As for my mother, I'm unsure. All I know is that she was a businesswoman and she died in a airplane accident. It's a little bit disheartening. Regardless, besides that, I lived a fairly, standard life for someone that was born of one of the old nobilities. So, a quite decadent life. It was enjoyable. I practiced all sorts of academia, socializing, things such as that, even a bit of writing here and there. I was betrothed to a man named Sigmar at a fairly young age, and at first I was completely against the entire idea, but eventually we became quite good friends. He eventually stood me up, which was not very good. She goes silent for a moment as she, thinks. Expression kind of, just become kind of stony as she just, thinks about that. Clearly that upsets her a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, moving on from that. My father, just, before that happened, my mother, pretty sure died in a plane accident, not too sure, but he then married another woman. I believe some sort of nobility from Poland. Anyways, she was a skank in every sense of the word, a gold digger, and did not like me one bit. Tried to remove me from the inheritance repeatedly. Eventually, when my father became more interested in his work, and eventually some sort of heart condition occurred, he became bedridden, and she began to take over the estates. And,
out of character, who was that? That was? She says stepmother or biological mother?
Yes, stepmother. Biological mother died.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, the stepmother is the evil stepmother.
Mm-hmm.
So, I eventually figured that it's time for me to go. So I took all of the wealth that I had amassed, invested that, got some fake passports. Being a part of the European Union made it quite easy to get a fake passport and fake identities. And I moved to Austria. However, I forgot about the draft. So I got recruited into the Austrian military. At first, I absolutely despised it, but it eventually grew on me. And, after dealing with a heavily classified event, I'm sure you know some bits and pieces of it. Not the, not what caused it, because that's a high-level clearance. But, some pretty nasty horrors there. I decided to join the Foundation, and I became containment, witnessed. I'm unsure if I can call them miracles or not, but they could be called miracles. How? Because they just should not work, but they did somehow. And with that, she looks very, perplexed, and, how?
Tell me about that.
It's, Lieutenant Gavin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've heard some of the rumors regarding him. 90% of those rumors are true.
What rumors?
How he single-handedly contained a SCP with just himself and a couple of sticks. Things like that. Things that just should not work, but somehow they worked. Recently, he hog-tied Leo Penthera. That shouldn't work, but it worked. Things like that, so... after that, the Jamaica mission, and being completely dreadful because of how long we had to stay in that horrific place.
Horrific?
I ran out of makeup. Yes, I ran out of all my beauty supplies. It was quite horrible. And we kept on getting attacked by everyone. and then Gavin decided to take up modern art, which I'm pretty sure broke several war crimes, but we don't talk about that. And then, well, I was recommended for the MTF, went to other... I can't say the site, but went to a different site, and then came back, and now here I am.
Alright. You said that you're, in the past you were betrothed, and that didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about that?
I'd rather not, but I was convinced by a dear friend that I should get help regarding that, so my to-be husband stood me up on the wedding night.
Alright.
It was quite upsetting, and I still believe that my stepmother has something to do with it.
Upsetting how?
Well, I thought that we had a bond, and then he never showed up. He disappeared off the face of the earth. I think you can understand how upsetting that would have been.
And you still think about this event. To this day, if on a 1 to 10 scale, how much do you think about this? On a daily basis?
9.
Okay.
And she says 9 as in, like, 9?
Oh, like German no.
That or 9. It's kind of, like, hard to tell.
Empathy!
Seems that she has a little bit of an accent there.
I whip out my empathy.
You don't need empathy. She's not hiding anything. It's a 9.
As in, like, the number?
Yes.
Okay.
She's just fucking with Castle.
Castle's used to this at this point.
Yeah. But hey, she's not hiding anything from Castle so far, so that's a thumbs up. You can thank Desi for that.
Thanks, Desi.
You should thank him.
How has it affected you, do you believe?
Well, I don't like commitments, I don't like relationships, and I act fantastic be as a means to fill up that hole in my heart. All of this seems quite overdramatic with how she says it. It's just like, but it's clear that, her Castle should be able to get that, her dramatized thing is, just her trying to, like, cope a bit.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that if you didn't overly express yourself, people wouldn't take interest?
Most likely, yes.
Alright. Sorry, I'm thinking.
That's okay. Hey, Jordan.
You mentioned that you're not comfortable with relationships. Are you implying friendship or romantic?
Romantic. Friendships are completely fine.
Okay.
I have several of them on base as it is.
Sorry for distant screaming train.
Jordan, fuck off. You dumb hoe.
Okay. Don't think me. Alright. Have you had any relationships since this event?
None romantic.
Can you specify what you mean by that?
I've had a few bouts of sexual activity, but nothing, that was prolonged. Maybe once or twice, and then nothing else. A few mock dates here and there, but nothing actually genuine.
And that is because he, motions his hand as if, he already knows the answer, but he's letting her say it anyway.
Ding ding!
Alright. You'd mentioned... Oh, go ahead.
As she goes ding ding, she does like the dramatic like finger guns.
Mm-hmm. He has no reaction. He continues to have a straight face.
That's alright. She doesn't need to empathy him yet.
Alright. Generally, when you are interacting with others, are you the first one to initiate a conversation?
Depends, but quite frequently, yes. Everyone else seems to, not want to initiate conversation, so I do first.
Are you comfortable with silence, generally, when near others?
She seems to think. I'm unsure by the questions, so I cannot really say.
If you are in a room, there's another person there, regardless of if you know them. I suppose, let's in this case say you don't know them well.
I would enjoy talking with them, however, I could handle there being no conversation between us, especially if we're doing something.
Okay.
But if it's just two people in a room with nothing going on, that seems a little bit weird not to be trying to have a conversation.
Why is that?
Well, why else would there be two people in a room just doing nothing? Like an elevator, I can understand. It's an elevator, you're waiting for the elevator to go. But if there's two people in a room, that's just a little bit weird.
Assuming hypothetically it isn't just two people in a room, just sitting there.
Okay, well then, with that context, then I guess it would depend on how I feel.
Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm going through my questions.
It's alright. I will also note that because you probably read for her thing, you've probably read that she is very, what's the word? It's a word that explains that's basically like over flirtatious.
Mm-hmm.
There's an actual fucking word for that.
Promiscuous?
Yes, that with people.
Okay.
And but she's not showing any of that tendency right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which, kind of contradicts that completely, especially if you ever get access to feeds where she's literally flirting almost all the time.
Yeah.
Just in case you need more info. Jordan seems very aggressive, and Raph has been typing for like 20 minutes. Just like, see, I've seen Raph is typing for like 10 minutes.
Sorry. I'm dusting my keyboard and occasionally hitting keys.
No, you're fine.
Perfect.
I'm just dusting my keyboard.
If I ever get a keyboard that's more than $10, I'll do that too.
No, it's my laptop keyboard.
Oh, then yeah, that makes sense. Why are you so aggressive, Jordan?
Alright, so he kind of thumbs through his notes. Alright. You would
She
know.
just reclines.
You'd mentioned that you are wanting to establish more of a closer bond with your coworkers because you feel that without it, teamwork is lacking, correct?
Yes, that is what my experience would dictate.
Alright.
Like, it's akin to how Bishop tries to... Oh my god, Jordan. How Bishop tries to establish a bond with almost all of the security and various military aspects of the site. It helps build morale and helps build trust. It is something akin to that, just on a more, localized level between teammates.
Mm-hmm. And how does it affect you generally when a majority of your team is not wanting to participate?
Depressing.
Depressing.
Yes, well, it's the wrong word. You might take that quite literally. It is annoying, troublesome, a little bit of a irritation. More so because of the fact that, well, your team members are the ones who have your life in their hands. And you have their life in your hands as well. It is a safe and smart thing to try to build up proper friendships with them, trying to become even something more akin to a family-ish relationship.
Do you value family relationship?
I would say so.
Alright. Skipping back. Oh, go ahead.
Alright, I didn't say anything, I was just...
I heard you breathe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I wasn't sure if that was you, like, breathing to be able to go forward into something. Alright. You'd mentioned that only one teammate was willing to indulge talking and socializing, and that was Agent Wolf, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How's that going?
We have a mock battle to woo. Jordan, what's Desi's actual call sign? Desolator? Something like that?
Desolation.
Desolation. Try to woo Desolation. He's one of the security officers. Along with that, we've also had, well, some fun time, and, well, he's the only member on my team who I could call a somewhat friend, considering that we have both, well, actually done more than just say hello, at least respectfully to one another.
And the mock attempt to woo the... Oh, and he says the name, I forgot. That doesn't bother you in relation to being romantically uncomfortable?
Not at all. Flirting doesn't always mean romantic interest. Sometimes it's just something to push boundaries and have a little bit of fun.
Okay.
And he has made his, well, lack of interest in myself quite clear, and so I respect that and don't do anything beyond the playful flirts that I do towards him.
Okay.
I'm unsure if he's given Wolf the same talk, though, so I can't really say what their relationship is. However, I do know they are friends, kind of.
Alright. Skipping back to what we were talking about prior to this, as it was the reason you were recommended to come here. I want you to tell me more about this individual you had been engaged to.
Well, my Sigmar was a man of noble birth within the northern Germany. He, well, was a 9 years my senior. No, 12 years my senior. He was much older than her. How much older was he, Jordan? I know he had like a 3-year-old kid.
I heard 90
I
years.
did too at first. I was like, huh?
Whew. Yeah, I'll just say 12. Yeah. 12 years my senior, which was at first a little bit weird, considering the betrothal was when I was 12. Quite weird. However, my father assured me that he was a wonderful man, and, well, even though I was quite spiteful towards him, he did eventually win my heart through various different means, even encouraging my, well, primary expertise, which is close combat fighting with swords. You could say that he was my knight in shining armor. She does look a giggle. Quite handsome, charming, intelligent. We had many of the same interests, and overall I do think that my father did pick a wonderful man for myself. He also did have a child that was, well, born out of wedlock, I believe. They were quite young, however, and I eventually did grow to adore them. And, well...
What was their name?
Bring up information. God damn it, Google. Why are you being so slow? Oh no! Sigmar, no! Okay, he was actually 7 years her elder.
Okay.
I lied. Okay, Irma is the girl's name, but, well, not really sure what occurred with the mother. Apparently, her mother's name was Irma as well. I could only assume that, well, she died at childbirth, or, well, disappeared.
Okay. When you were first engaged, you'd mentioned you were not exactly happy. Did this affect your relationship with your father?
Not really, no. Like, at most, it was... he tried to find many a men to, well, betroth me to, in a sense. But, well, he overall did want me to be happy, and I made my demands quite clear, and Sigmar happened to fit all of those demands. I was more spiteful towards Sigmar out of, well, spite in general.
Spite in general?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, my father had managed to exceed all of my quite outrageous demands, and, well, kind of forcing my hand to go along with it. And so, loving my father quite dearly and understanding that, well, he did do this for me, I took out most of my, anger at the situation on Sigmar rather than my father. And regardless, he, well, seemed to take it in stride.
Okay. How old were you when your father remarried?
I was, well, 12 years old. It would be a year later when I met Sigmar.
So it all happened in a short span of time.
Yes, a quite short span. I might have had a little bit to do with it, but I can't really say for certain.
And you didn't have a good relationship with your stepmother?
No. she can rot in hell for all I care.
When did your relationship with your stepmother begin to take a negative turn?
A month in. She is one could say, professional widower. She marries rich men and, well, makes sure that she becomes the inheritor. Long list of men who married her, then several short years later happened to fall ill, car crashes, all sorts of things like that. And then she just moves on. So I didn't like it to begin with.
Do you believe she had something to do with your father falling ill?
I do. Considering, well, I'm still in perfect health, and no family records indicate anything that he has. Well, not even any of the doctors that we could find could, well, understand what is wrong with him.
Did you ever express your displeasure to your father?
On many occasions, but, well, he thought it was just coincidence.
Okay. You said you believed that your stepmother had a hand in your Sigmar leaving. Why is that?
She didn't like me, I didn't like her. What better way to strike at me than to, well, take away one of the few things I did love?
You believe she did it out of spite?
I believe she did it to, well, give a message.
Message?
Yes, well, she never really commented on it. That's one of the more reasons why I think that she had a hand in it. She wanted to let me know that anything I care about isn't beyond her reach.
So you left.
Yes.
And why did you choose to change identities?
Mostly so that she would leave me be. If I wasn't present to be the heiress and inherit what is rightfully mine, she wouldn't feel threatened by me and so would leave me alone.
And has that worked?
Well, I believe it's worked. I haven't received any death threats, no assassins coming to kill me, nothing like that, so I'd say so.
Right. And then moving forward from there.
Don't you fucking poor Gav me, Jordan. Fucking Layla loves Gavin like a brother. It is why she is completely okay with dressing, scandalously around him, because she's quite aware that he will not stare at her because she is a brother to her. That bitch.
You had mentioned that there was an incident prior to you joining the Foundation. Can you tell me about that?
I can tell you bits and pieces. The overall aspect was that a airport, well, specifically a military airbase, was taken over by a group of insurgents of some sort. Later, I'd find out they were Cherubin. Actually, at that point, they might have been Valius. Regardless, it was what's now known as Cherubin. But the primary issue, in fact, was that there was a containment breach within a military bunker, and that the higher ups of Austria wanted a object that they had acquired, recovered and returned. So they sent in my team to do so, as well. We're, several steps above the common soldier, but not to the extent where we could be called special forces. I guess they didn't feel the need to send in special forces, or they knew that if they sent in the special forces, they would die. Considering most of my team died. Are you familiar with modern video games?
How modern?
Has a game, I think it's called Space Dead Space. There's a man that stomps things in it. There's zombies that have, like, horrible limbs and amalgamations.
He shakes his head.
Clark Isaac, something like that.
Not familiar.
Well, I know a little bit about games, and the things that were there, most of them seem to have been as if from that game, which is a little bit scary of a prospect.
Can you elaborate on that? I have no idea what that game is.
There was this small object that I had to recover. I can't go into too much details about what it is or what it does.
Wait, I pointed Jordan. How much clearance do I have revolving around this? Clearance.
Layla's tutorial mission, how much can Bree know? Like, I assume that she's not allowed to, talk about the fact that they were literally making trades using some sort of, like, portal generator thingy. Stuff like that. Like the... Oh, okay. Cool. Cool, then. Layla's been under the assumption that she shouldn't talk about that stuff.
Yeah, when she kind of pauses, he'll reach into his breast pocket and take out a sheet. You're fine to talk. I have.
Oh, alright. Well, I believe from what I understood, the altar is what caused... The artifact, I should more say, is what caused the outbreak, and it does something to the bodies. You couldn't exactly call it a virus, because it didn't work like that. It was more like a mutation. It took the dead flesh and it made it into something different. And, well, it could also somewhat work on living flesh as well, I guess. I watched one man get hit by a creature that, well, made him turn into one of the horrific monsters we were fighting. And I watched another man get absorbed by another thing. So that was all quite fun and dandy. It was a little bit more fun that they were in the ventilation systems, which is why every single time Dr. Vulture... Oh, I swear, one of these days I'm going to shoot him. And now there's another person crawling around in the vents. Oh, I wish they'd just make him too small for people to crawl around in. She does. She like, actually seems generally bothered by that.
Okay.
Or, shaking about. Like, shit just move around in the vents.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't like that there's vents that a person can just crawl around in. She's just like, that's fucking spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, the fact that there's vents that aren't tiny is what bothers her. She doesn't care if there's lasers in there and, like, shutters. She's afraid. Leave her alone. Anyways, so, yeah, the engineering vents scare her. Anyways, the various... We fought various, I guess, for lack of a better term, infected. I went in with 10 people. I left with 3, including myself. During that time, the other half of my team that had remained outside to provide us cover if we needed to be extracted, had come in after they had been engaged by the insurgents and some sort of insect swarm. When I came back up, the chest testing chamber where they had acquired the artifact, from what information we could gather, by trading it at some sort of anomalous thing that they created. Too much science, lots of quantum mechanics and whatnot. And, well, they were fending off some more horrendous things. Then, the Cherubin showed up, being led by their leader, William himself. And, well, a lovely little battle ensued with more of my forces being slaughtered until, well, a recovery team and containment team came in to assist us.
Alright.
With that, well, Cherubin retreated, and, well, most of my team decided to join the Foundation. Those that didn't want to join the Foundation had their memories of the incident erased, and the Austrian government did not get their hands upon the artifact. Because, well, as Gavin put it at that moment, do you really want those people messing with this shit again? And I really didn't want them to, because that thing was very scary.
What happened with the artifact?
I'm sure it's contained at the moment in one of the sites, probably the site that deals with most biological things.
And how did all this affect you at the time?
Well, it sparked my career in the Foundation. Besides that, the only outstanding effect is that I don't like big events.
How about emotionally?
Not too much. I was trained to be a soldier, and so I do have some experience with a hardened mind. I've seen some fairly horrific things. That is most certainly one of the tops of the cake. But since joining the Foundation, I've seen equally as horrifying things.
Nods. I'm gonna do a quick empathy.
Alright, what are you trying to find?
I have several notes here, noting that she kind of deals with talking about situations in which at least we're mildly uncomfortable in a happy and peppy manner. And I'm gonna empathy the shit out of that.
Oh, okay. She's not resisting, so what are you trying to know?
No, let me roll quick.
Okay.
He's just trying to understand if that's a guard or not. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excuse me as I take 5 years to set this up, because I refuse to make macros.
Don't forget your +2.
I got it, my lord.
Alright.
3 successes.
Yeah. So what are you looking for, damn it?
He's trying to discern if that kind of happy tonation is a guard.
Okay, a guard in what way?
Like, either to protect herself from the memories or to kind of distance herself from... So not being dishonest, but like... a layer. Putting a layer in between herself and something else.
It's kind of like that. It's also more akin to the fact that she knows it happened, and rather than being saddened by it, she instead tries to see it in a different kind of light. She's clearly not happy by it. It's just more so that
she's trying to be optimistic.
Yes, like optimistic, and like she doesn't let that hold her back. She doesn't let the emotions of it hold her back. So she also kind of talks like that. She's trying to like let other people not feel kind of pity towards her, because if she can talk about it in a lighthearted way, you're not going to be like, oh, poor thing.
Okay. He nods, looking at his notes. Alright. Moving back to where we are currently. Is there anything else that is on your mind as we are getting close to wrapping up here?
Mm, not really, just that the primary reasoning for me being here is to, well, hopefully help get over my entire emotional problems in regarding to Sigma.
And what emotional problems are those that you are wanting to conquer?
Well, I would say the fact that I cannot handle a relationship commitments is a fairly big problem. And the fact that I, well, use carnal pleasure to kind of get over it is also a problem. Because it doesn't get over it at all.
Alright. Then we
Isn't
can...
it great that Desi did like half the fucking work for you?
He did pretty good. He nods.
Desi's MVP.
Using cardinal pleasure. That is, you use it to try and distance yourself, or what is the reason in which you do that?
Well, feel good for a short period of time.
Okay. And how often is this something you engage in?
Well, even though people think I engage in it all the time, quite infrequently, actually.
Do you say infrequently? I'm sorry.
Yes, infrequently.
Okay. Alright. Well, then that can be something we start working towards improving in future weeks here, then.
Very well.
I'm going to be putting you on a... looks like a tri-weekly schedule here. As there
It
are...
is the most ridiculous sort of schedule I've ever heard of, but very well.
It is, but I'm also juggling the entire site, and that's a lot of people.
I can imagine, yes, there is, well, hundreds of people to go through.
If there is anything on your mind at any point, or you feel that you need to see me sooner, then when your next appointment is, send me a message, and I can see if I can get you in sooner.
Very well.
For the time being, however, I have an assignment for you.
Oh boy, do I love homework.
If I had a coffee for every time someone said that.
You'd probably be dead.
Good.
Again.
I didn't die the first time. He finishes his coffee and I roll.
The...
Oh yeah! Look at all those tens, Captain! Second, I just want to revel in how healthy he is for a second. Mamma
That
mia.
That kidney's helping.
Those are some healthy kidneys. Okay, I need to actually think about our assignment quick, 1 sec. I'm so sad, there's so many people Castle has to work on that he has to be like, I'm seeing you once every 3 weeks. That's what life is now.
Fucking Hui continues to escape.
Oh no,
He's been
Hui.
bumped back again.
Hui, no. Get back here, you little fucker.
He'll escape, don't you worry.
Alright, let's see here.
Something else is gonna pop up. It's gonna be great. Because now you're gonna have to do marriage counseling.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Castle's just like, damn it.
And that's gonna be a weekly thing, because you can't leave that to be a bi-weekly. Because it's a marriage counseling.
I mean, yes, to a degree. But he's also gonna prioritize psyche over marriage.
Then Hui gets pushed back even more because he doesn't have any outrageous problems.
Mr. Pyromaniac?
Being a pyromaniac isn't a detriment. He isn't burning anything down.
It is a problem, you motherfucker.
He hasn't burned a single thing except for a god's face.
Uh-huh.
And like, you know...
You're
tunes and
running from
tests.
therapy.
No one knows he almost blew up the fucking nightclub, though. All they know is that he got drugged by people.
Mm-hmm. The fact that he's running alone gives Castle reason to drag his ass in.
Maybe he just doesn't, maybe he just doesn't like doctors. Maybe he runs away from a dentist too.
You're right, and that's something we should talk about.
I just don't like people in lab coats. They scare me.
We're gonna solve
There's
that, you little
someone with a
fucker.
lab coat.
Where's a lab coat? I scare myself every time I look in my mirror.
Wakes up. Ah!
Ah, I'm a doctor. Ah,
Doctor, why did I do this to myself?
ah,
I'm a masochist. Ah!
ah. I am what I hate most. Ah.
I became a
that's
doctor
no
to
thing.
express my self-hatred.
No, that's literally a Reggie's thing. Fucking just sitting down. I am what I hate most.
Each Cheeto.
A zombie. Punch the ball.
Shit, this is hard. Layla's
Does she
hard.
really- Why? Why is she hard?
Because she's honest, and she actually doesn't act like, in this case, the reason she's in therapy is because she wants to be in therapy. Castle does not think that she needs consistent therapy. If she hadn't wanted to come back, he would have been like, okay, you're free. But she's like, I want to tackle this thing, and he's like, okay, we'll tackle this thing then. But I need to figure out what the assignment for her is. Because yeah, she would have gone. If she was like, I don't want to come back to therapy, he would have given her straight up the bishop treatment, where it's like, all right, you're fine, you're functional. You know, you have problems, but they're not significantly detrimental problems. It's just you dealt with some shit, but very clearly you're handling it well.
It's not like, Reggie that, was half-truths the entire time, and, that's classified the entire time. Just mostly to fuck with him.
And, like, she's handling it very healthily, because she recognizes she has problems, she's working on those problems, and she's addressing them, and that's why, like, of everyone so far, she's definitely one of the most healthy, and it has the very same kind of thing as Bishop, even though Bishop more was he just fucking played Castle like a fiddle. So yeah, let me look here.
Does she need to have an assignment, though? Is that her real thing?
Yes, assignment no matter what, because she's clearly stated what her problems are and what she wants to make progress on, so he wants to give her an assignment in those arc,
Twiddles thumbs waiting. Wasn't Reggie's assignment like, hey, before you get angry, like...
Think 5 seconds before you punch something, basically.
Yeah, and then Reggie's like, oh, fuck that. He completely ignored your advice, except for one time where he took your advice, and then he, like, almost died because of it. He was like, fuck you, Castle, your advice fucked me up.
Fuck you, Castle.
Literally, I before he died, that was his that was his thoughts on you, Castle, you piece of shit. I took your advice and the asshole shot me anyways.
See, in that case, if you had been like, he had a gun to me, Castle would have been like, okay, there's an exception if they have a gun at you. You're a soldier, use your brain, Reggie.
Reggie was like, what if I'm in a combat situation, though? Well, then too bad, Reggie. Those were Castle's exact words. Too bad, Reggie.
That's fair, but Castle was also being an asshole at that point because you were being an asshole.
But you see, it would have been great because if Reggie survived, he would have came back. You'd been like, Castle, your therapy is shit. He just would have walked away.
Castle would have taken a drink from his coffee. Been like, yep.
I shot because of you.
You would have gotten shot without me.
Let's see how you like being shot, Castle. Takes out gun, points it at Castle, shoots. It's a rubber bullet.
Gets bounced off of. Castle doesn't flinch. Castle has already accepted death.
He's just like, no, Castle flinches because he didn't die.
It's more of after when he sees it's a rebel bullet, he's like, damn.
Fuck. So close.
Nah, Castle doesn't want anyone else to kill him. He wants to take himself out via kidneys.
You'll make Altia cry, though.
Oh no.
And then Reggie will have to come back to the base and fuck you up. Hugs Altia, I'll protect you. Pat, 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 pat. Hugs Bonnie, I'll protect you too. Pat, 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 pat.
Damn, 1 second. I'm like really struggling with this one.
It's why I'm like, is there like actually a thing you can tell her except for like don't sleep with anyone?
That might be one we're gonna have to do, is just go with that, you know? Actually, no. You know what? Because he knows. She didn't mention it, but he knows she does it. With the flirting.
What?
So I think we're gonna go with that.
You can't just tell her to stop flirting with people.
Oops. Here I go. Castle leans back. Alright, so my assignment for you is I want you to...
Abstain.
I want you to cut back on the flirting with other
She
people.
looks as if she was slapped across the face.
Just cut back on it. If you do it 5 times a day, cut it to 2 or 1.
Well, I will do my best.
And more importantly, take note on how you feel after not participating in flirting as much. If there is a note if there is a significant difference. If you feel like that was something you were using to interact or kind of use the segue, grow off of that. We'll talk more about it when you come back.
Well. Very well.
Alright.
Well, thank you, dear. I guess I'll leave you because you seem to be quite busy.
Looks at schedule, sees surgeries tomorrow, blinks.
Smiles. Well, ta. Then she will get up and leave.
Nods.
So, now I can know that when I play Layla, she has to cut her flirting back by like 50%.
Aha.